Thank you everyone for joining us on the Open Compute 2020 virtual event. My name is Alan. I'm here to present you about Inspur's adopting Open AI compute storage and total solution. So let's talk about how Inspur see OCP in this entire ecosystem and how does the OCP community really help the ecosystem or the CSP partner to adapt OCP gears. The way we envision this is like a tree. We take all the open compute community, all different community from server, storage, and open BMC, Sonic, all this as ingredients to enhance our ability to adapt new technology. Of course, there's other communities out there in the world, for instance, open ODCC, Redfish, Open Power. And Inspur is a company embrace open community very much. And we feel like this community does help us to have a firsthand technology introduction and then also bring the best technology to our customer. So the way we envisionize and productize all this technology is through JDM, what we call the Joint Development Manufacturing. And we use the OCP market space to reach all the customers that we want to reach. As you can see right here, throughout the years, we have developed many different products for OCP and then have put them on the market space. The adoption is tremendously successful, and we have reached all the different customers that we have never envisioned us to reach before. And the benefit to the customer is through the marketplace, we have seen a tremendous volume adoption, and then this will further enhance, lower the cost for our community for each of the product that we have. And I think that's a very healthy cycle, and then we'll continue to invest to the value production, and then continue to invest into the technology as a root. And then that will continue the next cycle for the technology advancement. And we're really happy and very thankful for the OCP community to be here with us. Let me share some of the exciting adoption story that we have. Last year in OCP Summit 2019, we co-worked with Jason Waxman from Intel to announce the first 4-socket cloud optimized platform. As you can see right here, the 4-socket platform in a 2U box is highly adapted through the year of 2019 and 2020. We have a successful story, and the biggest client that we have, Tencent Cloud, one of the biggest cloud service provider in the world, is adopting this, using it for high performance computing, high frequency, and the high I/O benefit that it has. Just imagine using this for its database, Elasticsearch, and front-end server, and of course, the online gaming services that they provided. The compact 2U space, allowing them to increase the density of the core in per rack, and then the optimized thermal design help them to adapt higher frequency core in the system. So the benefit through the community and the introduction is tremendous, and we really enjoy working with OCP, Intel, and Tencent on this. Throughout the time that we have seen a lot of people inquiry about the cloud optimized Crane Mountain. And surprisingly to us, there's a lot of people who's not in the OCP community today were also paying attention to this server. And then they adopt it in their enterprise, more like an enterprise fintech cloud solution. Just by looking at this, the 4-socket 2U platform give them the 200% performance in the same space. And then when they compare this particular 4-socket to even some of the OCP offering of the 2-socket, they were able to reduce their cost about 23%. So just imagine that community is growing to a really big size already, but there's definitely a lot of people outside the OCP community is paying attention to what we were doing and then adopting the solution that we were providing. So I think that's a very, very successful story, and then we should be really proud of it. And we're not stopping right here. We're not just stopping at the hardware only. And then we're actually taking this with Intel to talk about what we can do even more. So the next up is we're gonna have a use case on this particular Crane Mountain with SAP HANA, with the Intel Optane persistent memory on the Crane Mountain. So it's my honor to introduce our great partner, Krishna from Intel, to go through the use cases. Krishna is a senior cloud solution architect from Intel Data Center Platform Group and technical expert in SAP HANA. Let's welcome Krishna.
Thank you, Alan. I'm going to go over the SAP HANA value prop with Intel Optane persistent memory. It's going to give you double the database capacity for similar price and performance. So as a result, you're able to take your scale-out systems and then convert them into scale-up. And then what you could also do is you could consolidate multiple scale-up systems into one bigger scale-up system. So when you do that, when you take two scale-up systems and put that on one physical machine, your HANA developers are going to be able to write much simpler queries, because all they're going to do is they're going to take they're going to do a cross-database join between both the systems. Now let's take a look at how customer data is in 4 CPU systems before and after persistent memory, right? Before persistent memory, customers were able to put in anywhere between 1.5 to 3 terabytes of data. And now with persistent memory, they're able to put anywhere between 3 to 12 terabytes of data based on their sizing requirements. Now let's take a look at a typical HANA transactional workload, which is running on SAP HANA with all DRAM and with persistent memory. The system on the left is all DRAM, wherein on a 3 terabyte machine, you could put in approximately 1.5 terabytes of data. Now on the right, what we did was we replaced the 64 gig DRAM DIMM with a 128 persistent memory DIMM. And as a result, we're able to put in a 3 terabyte database on the same 4 CPU system, thereby giving us a total system size of 4.5 terabytes. Now let's take a look at the TCO of these 4 socket systems a little bit more closely. Now your HANA Analytics, which is usually your BW on HANA or your HANA Data Warehouse, they're usually scale-out systems. And most customers have anywhere between a 3 to 5 system landscape. So in this example, I'm going to talk about a 5 system landscape, which roughly requires about 21 nodes, right? So now this is going to be converted into a scale-up landscape, which will require fewer, lesser nodes, which means much easier to manage. And then from a TCO perspective, instead of 63 terabytes of an all DRAM system, now you're able to get a 96 terabytes, which is 50% more. Now let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at a live demo. Now what you're seeing on my screen is a system on the left, which is a Skylake or a prior generation system, and the system on the right is a Cascade Lake with Intel Optane persistent memory. Now the data execution. So in a typical HANA database, you have data loads running real time via tools like SLT and data services, wherein millions of records are being loaded all the time. And then you also have end users running queries at the same time. So now what you're seeing is you're seeing what we did was we went ahead and started the exact same workload on both the machines. You can see the data load progressing almost uniformly across both the systems evenly. And then the queries, so when we go back and click the query execution button, you'll also see the query runtime up there, which is pretty much the same across both the systems. Now there you go. So that's the key value prop for HANA, which is double the database capacity with similar price and performance. So glad we're able to partner with Inspur. So now I'm going to turn this back to Alan.
Thanks, Krishna, for such an exciting cooperation between Inspur, Intel, and SAP. I think the community will definitely give us more feedback about how they see the solution fit their need. And hopefully we'll see some successful adoption, just like what we have on Crane Mountain. Throughout the year, Inspur has participated in many different OCP groups, including server, storage, open BMCs. But through the last couple of years and the future ahead, I think AI will become a really common phase in our industry and then, of course, impacting our daily life. So I will show you a brief video about how Inspur envision AI could really change our life. Throughout this journey, Inspur has been working with some of the industry's leaders to develop the most powerful machine that's available for AI algorithms. Thanks to OCP, with the OCP Universal Baseboard and then the OAI initiative, our team can continue to push the envelope for the next generation of AI products. We have 3 different products. One of them is based on UBB and OAM on the Open Rack platform, which allowed the most of the hyperscaler could adapt one of the most sufficient and efficient optimized solution in the world. But of course, we have the same UBB and the OAM could be used in the 19-inch form factor, what we call the NF5468. It's going to be a 6U box. So what's really exciting for me on the UBB and the OAM initiative is OCP provide a guideline for the silicon provider to design and silicon within the thermal envelope or the thermal guideline that could be adapted throughout the industry. And then of course, UBB become the common baseboard for that OAM silicons. And then it could be used in the 21-inch form factor or the 19-inch form factor. What we see in the higher adoption in the hyperscaler could be really passed on to the enterprise or the next wave customer, and then enjoying the same reliability benefit and then the cost benefit. I think that's what OCP is really all about, using the common building blocks to allow the bridge, the hyperscaler, and then the enterprise. And we're really excited about that. Next up is we really want to have the community to enjoy some sort of remote access to these latest and greatest technology without first committing themselves into some sort of investment that they don't know the performances. So we're working with a partner to bring in a 4-socket platform and then attach to a Inspur 30U OAM system that allow customers to remotely access to it. So please continue to follow Inspur social networking to know when this remote access is going to be available so you can really enjoy testing it and testing your algorithm alongside with it. The next one is while we have a successful adoption in the 2020 within our San Jose and then Mission Bay. Both products are OCP accepted, and then because the inputs from the community, we were able to optimize it through our internal process and alongside with the community to create the best performance, NL performance number that's out there in the world. So we're really excited about this adoption to this cloud service provider partner, and then hopefully that will bring a new services to our daily life as well. I pretty much talk about AI, but what's really ahead of us is also some of the latest collaboration that Inspur has working with Samsung. ES.1 has been a form factor that's been discussed for many, many years. But there's no one product that's available in the OCP contribution or spec that allow the community, the smartest mind of the industry, to continue to input and feedback to us and continue to optimize for the platform. So this year, Inspur will contribute alongside with Samsung for one of the 19-inch form factor ES.1 based solution that hopefully will continue to hear more feedback from the community and then continue to optimize it and then benefit the industry as a whole. So you cannot forget about talking about switch in the data center infrastructure. So we talk about server, we talk about storage, and we talk about AI. But when Sonic initiative was happening in the last couple of years, we see a tremendous request or inquiry about how do we do Sonic together. So this year, Inspur is going to introduce 2 white boxes solution, including a 100 gig spine and leaf switch, and then a 25 gig TOR switch that's compatible to the Sonic software. So we're really excited about this, and then hopefully the initiative could have a successful adoption like we have before. Lastly, I want to close up the presentation to talk about some 3 key bullets: strong communities. Inspur continue to invest ourselves into the community open hardware. And then in last year, we have jointly working with the OCP team to create the first OCP China Day. OCP China Day has it turns out it is a great turnout. And then that's when Tencent realized there's a lot of different solutions could be adapted into their infrastructure through the OCP community. I think it's a successful story, and OCP is truly a global event, and then everyone is paying attention to that. And we'll continue to work with the OCP community to explore that path. And of course, adaptation beyond hyperscaler. When we talk about 21-inch, when we talk about 19-inch, I think Inspur is trying to bridge that hyperscaler with the enterprise or the next wave cloud service provider through different form factors. And I think that common building blocks that OCP has us to guideline through is really the key to this bridge of the hyperscaler adoption and then tier 2 enterprise adoption. Of course, technology pipelines. Through the market space, we can have a more value adoption and then continue to use that as a base, as a seed to reinvest ourselves into the next generation technology. I think we're really exciting on that, and then everyone can see that has been a successful path for every one of us. So thank you again for listening to the presentation. We'll see you in 2020. Thank you.